Well, I'm absolutely delighted now to be joined by Chief John Batiste and Director of Public Safety in Texas, Steve McGraw. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for the invitation.
So we want to talk about information sharing and data gathering. Why is that a big issue?
Well, we learned from the 911 Commission that information sharing is one of the most important things that we should have been doing pre-9/11, and certainly it's something that we need to do preceding that in the aftermath. So we've been doing everything we can to ensure that that is occurring, and we've come a long way since 9/11 in the sense of information sharing, but there's work yet to be done, and we want to ensure that we're doing our part.
So Steve, specifically, how can we get on and do better at this?
Well, first, although, as the chief said, substantial progress has been made since 9/11, but as a chief and colonel and the state police agency heads, there's a consensus that we've got an obligation to do more to strengthen it. One is we believe in fusion centers and the co-location of dedicated full-time intelligence capabilities and analysts and data. But we look at it from it needs to be all crime because of the convergence of crime and terrorism. And that was one of the key items in the consensus. Another key item that was brought out from the colonels is that currently there's two different systems of reporting suspicious activity reports in the nation. And we believe in a national system to co-locate that data. We believe that it's an appropriate way of looking at pre-incident data and pre-operational data, whether it's Al-Qaeda or other Sunni extremists. We also believe that those two systems, they can exist, but they need to be interoperable. So if we're loading data that someone's connecting the dots, and if we're doing that, the system's needs to be secure. We need the ability to track the data. We need to be able to assess it and also download it to support our operations as well.
I mean, interoperability has been a big issue, hasn't it, in law enforcement for a few years now. It seems to me that we're coming from behind on this one.
That's correct. You know, we have a mandate, a federal mandate, that is by January of 2013 that we must be interoperable. So we're working, well, we must be narrowband compliant rather. So that's one step towards interoperability, and we're working very, very feverishly to help make ourselves interoperable as fast as possible.
I mean, the Attorney General was saying this morning, and the Director of the FBI, that there's quite a threat posed by terrorist organizations, and they are upping their game all the time. So it's quite a challenge for law enforcement, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, indeed.
So what is it that we do now? How can you get a step ahead of the game?
Well, one of the things that we can do is what we're trying to do, and that's continue to ensure that there's good communications between law enforcement, be it federal, state, local, tribal, as well as private sector, and we're now trying to draw the public into this conversation as well. And we need to ensure that we're sharing information in terms of certain data and sources of information, to ensure that that information is being properly vetted, and we're looking at any potential threats associated with that information.
So there are some 15,000 police chiefs here from all over the United States, and in fact all over the world. So what would your message be to them? How can they get behind you with these endeavors?
Well,
go ahead, Steve.
Well, first and all, everyone matters. And the largest police department, the smallest police department. And in a post-9/11 environment, it's appropriate that they're proactive and take proactive approaches, which is what the chief talked about in terms of information sharing, properly vetting, data and ensuring that no lead goes uncovered. At any given time, whether you're a detective, an agent, a trooper, a police officer on the street, you are a counterterrorism agent. And that's the lesson, or at least we would like to take away from the importance of this.
And the recognition that this is a very important topic, we ask that they stay informed and stay engaged. And when we need their support in pushing certain things up the hill, we ask that they lend their helping hand.
Well, gentlemen, thank you ever so much indeed for taking the time to talk to us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.